How are you? Real quick share. I wanted to make a distinction between the difference between aromatherapy and revolutionary aromatherapy. Why I call it that? Because it is actually a movement. It's a movement that is designed to teach you how to be remarkably healthy so that we can begin to change the momentum of healthcare for our kids. Because as I stated in my reel yesterday, my why is our kids don't deserve to be born sick. And the only way that we can affect their lives is by really owning our health and seizing it. So the difference between revolutionary aromatherapy and any other model of healthcare, for the most part, is that we're not just looking at the symptom. We're actually looking at, because here's a really great thing. So I was in Clubhouse this morning and I shared a tip about an essential oil, myrtle actually, and we were talking about using an oil for breathing. And the reason I suggested myrtle is because it has a couple of constituents, and this is what I actually wrote this in my current book that I'm working on. It contains alpha-pinene and 1,8-cyanol are two of the primary constituents. 1,8-cyanol is actually a drying agent, so it actually helps to dry up any sort of mucus. At the same time, it's anti-inflammatory, so it helps to reduce the swelling. And alpha-pinene helps to relax things. So this is a lot of what I teach. And in the meantime, when you can use myrtle, because it's a drying agent, it's great for oily skin, yet it is also supportive of the hormonal system as a whole. So therefore, it's actually great for aging skin. So if you have, say you snore or you have sleep apnea, using myrtle on your face at night will help open these things up, good for the skin, and in the meantime, help you breathe more effectively through your nose so that you begin to take in oxygen. Because when we breathe through the nose, we get more oxygen. When we breathe through our mouth, if you're a mouth breather, you're getting less oxygen, which is going to increase your fatigue levels and mental clarity during the day. It's going to actually cause you to gain weight. So there's a whole host of reasons why we want to really deepen our breath when we sleep. And so this is what I was sharing. But at the same time, as I said, it also supports the entire hormonal system, which helps with the thyroid. And it just got me to thinking that, I mean, this is really how I like to deliver the messages, because they don't have a single property, and a lot of the oils have crossover properties, which is fine, but this is really what shows us why it's important for us to know what really assess our body so that we can begin to determine which oil is best for our system. And in this case, when I presented that this morning, somebody actually was very intrigued and wanted to know more about it for themselves. So again, that was just one example. Yet with revolutionary aromatherapy, what we're really trying to do is get the whole system. And I know many people might say, well, we're doing that with in holistic medicine or functional medicine, and I get that. Yet when I notice that when we're talking about oils, how our mind quickly goes to a single issue. And again, even with my situation, as I shared in my last reel, I have scarred sinuses as a result of chronic sinus infections as a child. So it's very hard for me to breathe through my nose, especially if I'm working out and there's inflammation, because you're heating up the body, it's stressing the body, so inflammation is being produced, right? So it's very difficult for me to breathe. So I actually put oils on my face, which not only enhances my ability to breathe through my nose, it helps to reduce the swelling and begin to break down some of that scar tissue in there, so that I can begin to have a more effective workout during my workout and after my workout. So that is really the biggest distinction. We can use oils for symptom relief, and we're doing nothing else other than using natural medicine in a conventional way. And that conventional way is treating a symptom and deliberately activating very specific processes in the system. Now, yes, using an oil has a more holistic approach because it does affect other systems, but let's just say, for instance, your issue is sleep. You have trouble sleeping and you use lavender, and lavender helps you to sleep, but you have other things going on that the lavender isn't touching. You see what I'm saying? So there's plenty of oils that will help you sleep, but understanding what's going on. And the more we begin, and this isn't to say we don't come at this by paying attention to the symptoms. We absolutely do. As I mentioned earlier, the oils have crossover properties, so and numbers of them are good for sleep. Selecting the one that's most appropriate for you is key, because now we're working with the entire system. And the more you use these every day, this is like a huge thing for people, because they are, we can look at them as being expensive, but yet they are an investment in your health. Just like you run to the store and we'll grab an OTC, purchasing an oil, if you buy 10 to 15 mLs and you have an assortment of them, you're going to have them for a while. You're not going to use a lot. You only use a couple of drops at a time. You'll have them for a while, and eventually it won't be so much about symptom relief as much as it will be systemic maintenance. Because ultimately you're going to find yourself back into your body's going to naturally reset itself, so symptoms are not going to be prominent any longer, and you'll actually have the ability just to continue to support your system. Now you may be wondering, why would I want to support my system once the symptoms are gone? Because you're alive on planet Earth, and we have 45 million chemicals being thrust at us around the world on a daily basis. Tens of thousands of them are confirmed endocrine disruptors. I did it, talked about this the other day with benzene rings. They are all over the place, and until we learn how to integrate oils into our life on a daily basis, whether it be household cleaning, paint thinning, if you're an artist, however you want to talk about it, learning how to incorporate them, they are not nutrients. Okay, I need to emphasize that they are not nutrients. They are chemicals, much like our own hormones, that have the ability to influence genetic activities. So they're very different from nutrients, and this is the reason why we pair them with nutrients, or why I suggest pairing them with wholesome foods, because the combination of the two is magic. It's absolutely magic. And it's a brilliant combination. It's alchemy at its finest, because at that point we are now supporting the entire system. We're supporting cellular processes at the genetic level. This is revolutionary aromatherapy. This is the whole concept. And the more we learn this, the more you learn this, the faster we can teach our children how to do this. This is what it's necessary for them to learn. I don't want to teach it to them from sitting in a classroom kind of thing. The idea of getting you to use them, whether they're your grandchildren or your children, the more you use them, you can show them how to use them. You can be getting them to use it in their daily life. When I've worked with children with autism, and I was making oils specifically for these children, obviously the parents were administering them, but yet the kids were loving it. They were getting into it. They wanted it. They were asking for it. I remember one little boy was 6 and he was struggling with ADHD, and he told his mom he loved the oils because he felt like himself again. That came out of his 6-year-old's mouth. So when we can teach our children how to integrate these fabulous life-giving oils, and they are life-giving in the sense that they remind the body of what's possible, now we are onto something, and we are changing the future for our kids, and that starts today. So comment down below with any, and what do I want you to do? You know what? I'm going to invite you to a phone call. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to me. I would love a chance to talk with you about your questions. So if you would like to set up some time to talk with me, give me a thumbs up in the comments below, and we'll get something scheduled, because talking about this and kind of giving you some ideas about this in your daily life is my mission. So I'm looking for your thumbs up, and I'll talk to you later. See ya, and thanks.